把你女儿埋在花圃里了。
The silence of bystanders is complicity in crime. It turns out Lin Zyu has long known the truth about his daughter's death. When Hui Jun was bullied to death, Li Han was nearby. She witnessed the perpetrators fleeing and even prevented Xiaotong from calling the police. When Hui Jun fell in the auditorium, teacher Fang also saw the assailants and prevented Lin Zyu from discovering the truth. Their silence, along with the perpetrators, killed Hui Jun, and they too are targets of Lin Zhu's revenge.
把你女儿埋在花圃里了。
Hearing the news of Xiaotong's death, Li Han is devastated. She raises a hammer, wanting Lin Zyu to pay blood for blood, but she's ultimately no match for Lin Zyu.
怎么样？失去女儿的感觉怎么样？
还给我！
While Li Han is unconscious, Lin Zyu escapes, carrying Fang, who took a fatal blow for him. Just as he's about to get in the car, he finds Su missing. Su secretly wakes Li Han, and the two chase Lin Zyu on the highway.
你停车！整栋楼的人都知道，你每天打你的女儿，你有病，你要去看医生。你没有听见我说话吗？我要上车！
It turns out Su is also a silent killer. 5 years ago, she witnessed Li Han being abused by her husband but chose to ignore and remain silent, fearing it would affect her house rental. Li Han uses her last bit of strength to open the car door.
小龙在哪里？问你小龙在哪里？把我女儿还给我！
现在和我一样了。
跟你不一样，我只是个妈妈。她藏到哪了？
After saying this, Lin Zyu pushes Li Han out of the car. The police ahead are ready. Seeing Lin Zyu refusing to stop, Dai has no choice but to pull the trigger. The bullet pierces the glass and hits its target, but Lin Zyu doesn't die. The truth he once revered, but now scoffs at, saves his life. The police take him home to identify the burial site, but what they dig up are the adult male bones that have long since decomposed. Meanwhile, the police find evidence in his residence. Actually, on the day they searched the castle, the police had already found an important clue. The string of paper cranes, when unfolded, reveals a picture drawn by Xiaotong. The upper half of the picture is filled with kumquats, while the lower half shows her deceased stepfather. It turns out that on that night 5 years ago, Xiaotong was brutally sexually assaulted by her stepfather. An enraged Li Han avenged her daughter with a sickle. She dragged her husband to the rooftop garden and buried him, then cleaned up the blood. To cover it up, she planted kumquats in the garden and changed her daughter's phone contact to husband. For 5 years, every time she gave away kumquats, she would say,
我老公种的。
Indeed, those kumquats were grown from her husband's corpse. Dai keeps asking about Xiaotong's whereabouts, but Lin Zyu only calmly replies.
他自由。
All the accusatory crowds and reporters rush to the rooftop, denouncing Lin Zhu's various evil deeds. Perhaps he has grown accustomed to human nature's dark side over the years. Lin Zyu seems indifferent to this indifference or abuse. It was everyone's silence that allowed the perpetrators' evil deeds, but now these silent people suddenly start condemning loudly. How ridiculous. Only when disaster befalls oneself do people realize how sharp a knife silence can be. This is silent killing, the true meaning of the film's title. At this moment, Lin Zyu also chooses to answer everyone present with silence. He finally escapes the darkness and sees the light.
无论何时何地，皆为众生之行，
引发觉悟之恋。
觉悟的终点，皆是新生的起点。
He falls from the building with the final truth, just as the case seems to be concluded. Wu Wang presents new evidence. It turns out that the source of this series of events is actually Xiaotong, who can't even speak. When she was sexually assaulted years ago, before Li Han arrived, she had already stabbed her stepfather in the neck with scissors. Li Han covered up the crime to protect Xiaotong.
今天的事情，千万不可以告诉任何人。
The phone in Hui Jun's locker was also placed there by Xiaotong, aiming to have Lin Zyu carry out her revenge plan. The so-called kidnapping was also jointly planned by her and Lin Zyu. After exchanging glances with Lin Zyu on the day of the school anniversary, Xiaotong left the auditorium before the principal cut the ribbon, creating the illusion of her disappearance. At this moment, she has already been sent by Lin Zyu on a car to freedom. She is truly free now. in an avalanche. No snowflake is innocent. The school, police, neighbors, reporters, etc., without exception, are all accomplices in this massacre. There is much injustice in the world. Only blood can deter evil. Justice cannot always be by your side, but evil is always lurking in the corners watching you.